been a force at both ends for his on-the-bubble Broncos. Today, he and Santa Clara host Wayne Tinkle and Oregon State. The veteran coach and his Beavers play with a heavy sense of emotion and opportunity. You're watching March to March, presented by Principal. March is only hours away. The madness awaits. It's a regular season finale tonight from the Levy Center. Santa Clara on senior night plays host to Oregon State. We know that these two teams are locked into the 3 and 4 seed by virtue of Pacific's loss to San Francisco right before us on the network. They will play a week from tomorrow in the WCC quarterfinals. And welcome courtside. The lights are out. The spotlight is on. John Sadak and former Northwestern standout Trey Demps. A lot of emotion here today. This is a Santa Clara team that's on the bubble on senior day, an Oregon State team that knows their head coach will not coach them anymore when the season ends.
And with that being said, I really think that they're going to play really free. There's really nothing to lose. They're playing with house money, Oregon State. And on the other side, you mentioned it, Santa Clara, all the pressure is on them. They haven't made the tournament in 30 years. This is a huge game.
And this could be a landmine for Santa Clara. What has been achieved so far? What do you see?
Well, I think they have a really good resume compared to other mid-majors. You look at their Quad 1 and Quad 2 record, it's 8-6. That Loyola loss is really going to hurt them. You look at Loyola 309th in the net, but I really like compared to especially teams like New Mexico, VCU, and San Diego State.
And meanwhile, their two best players sat as red shirts last year, Christian Hammond and Alan Graves.
And Christian Hammond is a great three-level scorer, but the best part of his game is his mid-range jumper. Shoots 62% on pull-up mid-range jumper. He has the ability to shoot over small defenders. And then you have Alan Graves. It's not your typical freshman. He is going to beat you up in the paint. He averages 3 offensive rebounds per game. He has great footwork and touch around the rim.
For Oregon State, the decision made Thursday. They will part ways with veteran head coach Wayne Tinkle. He was given a choice. He's coaching them the rest of the way.
And I love that decision. You got to stick it out with your guys. And I love the story that he told that everybody was emotional and bum rushed him when he made that announcement. I think it's just a great thing.
His greatest run came to the Elite Eight in 2021, won the Pac-12 tournament title that year, has not been to the Big Dance since. Could they make a run knowing it's all on the line right now? He said every post-game and pre-game speech he'll give the rest of the way, fighting through adversity. The Beavers have a chance to shine today, while the Broncos know they cannot lose if their at-large hopes will live.
Introducing Mike's Hot Italian Sub from Jersey Mike's. Fresh ham, salami, and pepperoni chopped up by hand right on the grill. Forget about it. Then topped with a layer of melted provolone? Forget about it. And the regular is only $8.95? Forget about it. Wait a minute. Actually, remember about it. Because you gotta try it with our chopped pepper relish before it's gone. The all-new Mike's Hot Italian Sub for a limited time only at Jersey Mike's.
That's it. We're switching teams.
You can't just switch.
I mean, we just switched to Verizon. Got 4 new iPhone 17 Pros on them.
It's good to be on a winning team.
Come into Verizon and get 4 iPhone 17 Pros on us.
Nachos?
Thanks.
I would say happiness is definitely more important than winning. Sometimes you have to take a step back and remember why you're doing it in the first place and why that makes you happy.
Back in Santa Clara, starting 5 on each side. Elijah Mahi among the seniors honored for the Broncos on senior day. He is their point man. Josiah Lake II, the most visibly emotional of the Beavers when word came down that Wayne Tinkle would not be their coach after this year.
Yeah, I mean, he's a tremendous player. Has had a great year, averaging 13 points per game. He is great at getting to the foul lines. Been the heart and soul of this Oregon State team.
These teams began conference play against each other. Let's round out the regular season. Broncos have the ball, and Trey, they can score.
Yeah, it's a team that scores over 83 points per game. 18 games where they've made 10 or more threes.
Josiah Lake on the break. Able to pass out. 3-ball Isaiah C. And the long carom to the Broncos. And Santa Clara, 14 league wins, a new program single season record. They are 13-1 at home in this building. Now losses have crept up of late. Losses in 2 of 3. Home against Gonzaga, at St. Mary's. They have been the powers in the WCC since 08. And on-ball defense, a takeaway for C.
And that's one of the things that Hammond has struggled with. His last 2 games, 7 turnovers, and first minute of the game, kind of a careless turnover there off the pick and roll.
And Lake, part of a generational drive at Oregon State, succeeding his father and his namesake, wearing the orange and black. Ball screen from Munch on a switch has a big and a foul. Well, Wayne Tinkle, now in year number 12, when he was given the choice, coach out the rest of the year or be done, he told his team in person, I need a few hours. He said his phone blew up with calls and texts. And there were tears in the man's eyes. You could feel the emotion he had telling and reliving that moment.
Yeah, everybody thinks about wins and losses, and obviously that's important, but it's the relationships and the wars that you've gone through with your guys. And so I give him a ton of credit for finishing this thing out.
Hammond nearly got a swipe. Now a tip ball and a takeaway there from Mahi. Igniting to Napper. Up in the air and one. And that's already a second foul on the second leading scorer for the Beavers in Isaiah C.
And this is what this Santa Clara team is so good, is forcing turnovers. And how about Napper in transition, finishing through contact. His contributions are so important. 10-1 when he scores 10 points or more.
Free throw in the air. Rim glass it in. So a first on C. And now pressure on entry.
You look at Oregon State's lineup. They've got 3 guys who are above 6'10".
Wraparound rejected, and a foul on Mahi. No team in the West Coast Conference fouls more than the Broncos, who are amongst the most foul-prone teams in the country.
And this is an Oregon State team on the other end who does a great job of drawing fouls. I mean, this team that shoots 22 free throw attempts per game. Let's take another look there. Probably a little bit of contact.
I think we're having some issue with the fouls as they're being inputted. They're going to call this on the help from Buki Oboye, which would be his second.
And that's not good, because he's one of the top 10 most fouls players in the country. So he can't afford to be picking up any extra fouls. That's not his.
I mean, he's fouled out 8 times this year. That's top 5 in Division I. They have 2 of the top 25 foul-prone men in America. Deep 3. Swish. Jay Gensminger.
Ensminger has been under 7 points his last 5 games, and he's just one of those guys that can get hot, especially from the 3-point line.
Steps into travel on Lake. Well, Herb Sendek, now in his 10th campaign with the Broncos, 5 straight 20-win years in Santa Clara. He's been a coach of the year in the MAC, the ACC, the Pac-12, then the Pac-10, and he's closing in right now on 600 career wins. He's at 597.
He's the 46th most victories in Division I.
Great ball movement. Christian Hammond off. Tipped and controlled by the Beavers. And Olabi Suutela right down for the dunk. Napper using the ball screen. Alan Graves wants it in the post. And he gets fed. The freshman's been phenomenal in conference play. Napper in rhythm. No. Snatched down and maintained. Napper again. Only grazes Twine. They get it again. Hammond floats it up. Another miss. And a foul. That'll be Napper probing.
See this here in fast break. Oregon State doing a good job of rebounding. And how about Sutella running the floor and finishing with authority?
Has started 9 straight, 16 of 18. The freshman out of Finland who missed time over the summer. He was back in Finland playing with the national team and fulfilling a national military obligation. Johan Munch gets bumped.
One of the best things to do when a team is pressuring, Santa Clara pressures a ton, they pick up 94 feet, is to be able to attack off the bounce, even after one pass, because that keeps the defense honest.
Well, that foul goes to Graves, who also has issues with whistles and bunches. He's fouled out 7 times this year. He entered with 95 personal foul calls against him, while his teammate Buki Oboye 100, first and third in the West Coast Conference in fouls.
Well, a lot of that has to do with the fact that Santa Clara picks up so far, 94 feet, and so at times the guards get beat off the dribble. So who's the back line of the defense? It's guys like Graves, it's guys like Boye. So that's part of the reason why they have so many fouls.
And we asked Herb Sendek, is that a concern or how do you coach it? And he said, play hard. Mahi for 3. And he's been a long believer in that. That's been a mantra of his for years. You play harder, you foul less.
And if you have depth, you have the capability of doing that as well.
3 ball. A little flat and a miss. Weak side one by Graves. Well, the Broncos haven't hit a shot in their last 5 tries. And they take a lot of threes. They make a lot of threes. Not a great percentage. Nasty crossover, but no chance to finish. Now Mahi, swish.
And because Oregon State helps so much, even one pass away, if you move the basketball, get one paint touch and attack, you can kind of get whatever you want on the perimeter.
And a whistle as they started the break, and we'll get a timeout on the floor.
Mahi getting the feet set, good ball movement from Santa Clara. Got a good one here early.
Thinking of updating my kitchen? Yeah? Yes. This year, we are finally updating our kitchen. Doing subway tile and an ivory or eggshell. Cream, maybe bone. Don't get me started on quartz. Big island. You ever heard of a waterfall cabinet?
For everyone who talks about doing that thing,
And over there,
but never does that thing,
sweet little breakfast nook.
Chase has financial guidance.
See how you can start saving to make this happen.
Really?
Really?
Really.
At home or in
You
person.
could also check out a Chase Money Skills workshop.
That's guidance from Chase. Make more of what's yours.
Ascending to the top takes focus, dedication, commitment. One thing above all else. What you put first defines you. At Werner, we put safety above all. No shortcuts, no compromises. Because we believe that what you stand on should match what you stand for. Werner, proud to support and protect those who continue to reach higher. The official ladder of NCAA March Madness.
This is the final vote.
We'll finally know which egg is loved most, Reese's or Cadbury.
Choose one.
I choose both. Celebrate Easter with Reese's and Cadbury.
I've got this old bike and I got the receipt right here. I'd like for you to beat it with a better deal on the souped-up model.
We can't do that. Verizon does. Bring in your AT&T or T-Mobile bill for a better deal.
You're not as cool as Verizon.
College basketball on CBS Sports Network is sponsored by Principal. Let's build a retirement and benefits plan that works for your team. And by AT&T. Connecting changes everything.
The seniors honored today, walk-ons Malachi Duyan, Brendan Yaruso, and regulars and starters Elijah Mahi and Brenton Napper. For Herb Sendek, his Broncos have been a power in the WCC for several years running. Can they take that next step? They haven't been to the big dance in 30 years.
And you feel that weight. I mean, as a player, you understand the history of your program is get a foul at half court against Lake.
And that's going to be 2 on Graves. So 2 on Graves and Oboye, and it's only 15:49 to go in the first half. But you can feel the weight of trying to break that.
Yeah. I mean, I played for Northwestern, and at the time, never made an NCAA tournament, and so, like, you understand that as a player. And part of the reason why you come to a program is to kind of change the trajectory because there's so much pride in being that first team in so long.
Munch in and out, and they went right at the sub for Santa Clara and Francis Chukudabel. 3-ball contested between the legs, dribble, and Jared Darlin drains it.
And he's been playing terrific over his last 3 games, 10 points per game, 9 of 13 from the field, just dancing with the ball, getting into his bag, and knocking down the pull-up 3.
Rather famously was the first man ever to go from the G League to college basketball.
He had a good year in the G League, too. Averaged 11 points per game for Delaware.
Lake off the iron. Check out the handle here.
And how about doing it coming straight off the bench? I mean, that takes a lot of confidence. And he was getting up some extra work after shoot-around today, and they went pretty hard in shoot-around and showing off the work there, getting into his bag.
Now, during this moment of bringing the ball up, Herb Sendek was working our lead official, Eric Curry, pretty hard. Curry's worked the tournament for a number of years. He's the most veteran of this bunch, and he was hand signaling. It's already 1-1. It's already 6 fouls, 1 away from bonus. He's talking about the team foul difference at this stage, but for the Broncos, it's happened a lot on their year.
Yeah. The pros and cons of being an aggressive defense.
They get a lot of steals, a lot of blocks. They commit a lot of fouls. That's all for Isaiah C., but they maintain. The Beavers have been rebounding better of late.
And this is the Broncos team that got out-rebounded by 30 in their last game. It was a great take from Lake and a nice dump off to Munch, and that was a second chance point there.
Mahi swallowed up in a swarm, lost it, poked out of bounds. 23 to shoot, 2 subs for the Broncos.
And this is Lake just making a play one-on-one, drawing the help side, being able to find Munch. And over his last 2 games, Josiah Lake has 17 assists, 6.5 assists per game over his last 4. So doing a really good job of distributing basketball.
Munch gets a breather. Yak Yak is in, who plays double-digit minutes. The whistle on entry. Now we'll go against the sub big man for Wayne Tinkle. 6'11" junior out of Australia. So Yak Yak with his first. Wide open. Slow on the trigger. Hammond slithers closer, in and out. And Yak Yak size gets the ball. Agassi, bad telegraph pass. Hammond with a pick. KJ Cochran time to shine. The freshman. Bobble and brought in by Darlin. Trying to show that handle again. On high, Cochran in and out. Beavers want to push Lake. Oh, fake the pass. Followed by Yak, the 2-hand jam.
There's been a few times transition defense for the Broncos have just not been there, and Josiah Lake doing a great job taking advantage. Even though that's not an assist, the big has to come over to help, which leaves for an offensive rebound.
Great cut, great pass, no finish. Yak rips down the boards. Brief numbers for the Beavers, 5 on 4. Yak walks into the post. C fires to him a little deep, and it's taken away. Sash Gavalugov brought in from Villanova. Hammond can't finish. And one of a follow by Chukudabel.
And it's so important for Oregon State to take care of the basketball. In the last matchup, these 2 teams played against each other. Santa Clara had 10 points off of turnovers in the first 10 minutes of the game. And a lot of these turnovers have been careless. And this Broncos team is so good in transition. Great follow-up for the and-1.
Now that foul is charged to Isaiah C. So he's got 2. What do you do with the second leading scorer for the Beavers?
I mean, that's going to put so much more pressure on Josiah Lake. But I think in this situation, you got to leave him out there.
Well, Beavers bring it up. He remains in for now. Su'utela did go to the table, but will he sub for it? With 50 seconds and change until a dead ball means immediate. Ball screen for Lake. Got a switch. He's got a big. Agassi was shaping up, but C shoots and hits right after after he picked up the foul.
And that was a great job of Lake attacking the hard hedge defense. And that wasn't a good hedge right there from Santa Clara, and just getting into the paint. Now everybody has to come and help, and C making them pay.
Cochran cuts and finishes. A consensus 4-star recruit who's playing about double-digit minutes a game. Beavers up the floor. These two teams locked in to the 3rd and 4th seeds respectively for Santa Clara and Oregon State in the West Coast Conference Tournament. They both have byes to the quarterfinals a week from Sunday. See again. Yes! But coach left him out there for offense, and he drains 2 threes.
And again, a great job of Oregon State attacking the hard hedge, beating the big off the bounce, and then it's so hard on the backside if the guard gets around the big.
Oh, deep for Darlin. And see, weak side had it knocked free. He has to play softer with 2 fouls. Yep. Broncos have not run a lot of offense last few possessions. Darlin probing the end line. Travel. Wayne Tinkle showed trust in one of his veteran players. And Isaiah C. able to do it from deep a couple of times, makes it a 1-point game. It's on the horizon. You're watching the March to March, presented by Principal.
Hi folks, Joe Namath here. And if you're having a hard time hearing, call MD Hearing because they changed my life and they can change yours too. I was wearing expensive hearing aids for years until a good friend of mine told me about MD Hearing. I bought a pair of the hearing aids with no doctor visit, no prescription, and no hassle. I got fitted right over the phone and I've never had a better pair of hearing aids. I'm even wearing them right now.
Call now and get 2 rechargeable Neo hearing aids for just $297 with a free portable charging case and free shipping. The rechargeable Neo is nearly invisible with its tiny in-the-ear canal design, and you can get 2 rechargeable Neo hearing aids with a 45-day risk-free trial, free shipping, and free lifetime US-based support for only $297.
Call my friends at MD Hearing and get the over-the-counter hearing aids that I use for you.
Call 800-581-8730.
Yes, I actually won!
See this? It just arrived from Deal Dash, a Nintendo Switch 2.
Look what I just won. I love Deal Dash.
With millions of auctions, you too can start winning, like this.
I got this amazing Japanese knife set for just 75 cents.
I got this KitchenAid stand mixer for only $56.
And today, new users get a $50 bonus credit. Go to DealDash.com right now for huge savings
and free shipping from our U.S. warehouses.
Last time out for Santa Clara, big game against St. Mary's, seeking a sweep, but the starters were outshined and rebounding was a huge factor. The Broncos outboarded 51-21. There were 20 offensive rebounds in that game for St. Mary's. Second chance points favored the Gales 30-9. It was historic.
Yeah, it was, and the game was really over at the end of the first half when St. Mary's went on that 19-2 run, and a lot of that, to your point, John, was second chance points.
Well, Herb Sendek sees his team hampered by foul concern early. 2 on Allen Graves, 2 on Buki Oboye, which has opened the door for Francis Chukwudabel. The freshman only plays 7 minutes a game, had not scored since December 13th against Arizona State, has a bucket already here today. Well, they pressure Kezia Ekisi, one of 2 Frenchmen on this Oregon State team. Both lean heavily into the international market, and there's the sub getting time because of 2 others in foul trouble. Chukwudabel with his first.
And they're attacking Chukwudabel a ton on these pick and roll actions, and on that one, it's a great veteran play from Ekisi, understanding that the Broncos are in the bonus. You see so many NBA players, like a guy like Chris Paul, do that, understanding when they're in the bonus and just making contact with the big, coming off those pick and rolls.
Now, Ekisi has struggled at the line, does convert there, only 59% on this season. He is a longtime best friend of his teammate Isaiah C. C with 2 fouls on the bench since the break. He had those 2 threes to draw the Beavers within 1. They take a 17-16 lead. You'll see different defenses from this Oregon State team, but the Broncos tore that one up quickly.
And that was just a really good job of Hammond finding the open soft spot in the middle of that full court press from Oregon State.
Jaquavius Williford getting time for the Beavers. He had only played 10 of the first 30 games on the season. He's had a lot of injury concern in the last couple of years. End line drive, spinning into a double. Ball free and a foul. Now we talked about the dynamic between Kezia Ekisi and Isaiah C. Both hail from France. And they were at first rivals in their club days as kids.
Yeah, they said they didn't like each other, even at the 7, 8-year-old level, and then eventually became close as they realized in the south of France that they were two of the best players in the area.
So big sub here is that last foul went on Cochran as his first. Chikudabel goes to the bench with Cochran, and Oboye is back in with 2 fouls. You like it?
You really don't have a ton of options right now if you're the Broncos. I wouldn't be surprised throughout the course of this game if they elected to go small.
That rattles out for Suutela. When the Broncos get humming, they could score in bunches. Mahi off. Weak side one by Oboye. Different defense here.
It looks still like a little bit of a man, but they mix up defenses a lot.
3 ball out of the corner, Nepper.
Santa Clara is just so good at moving the ball side to side and sharing it, making the extra pass.
Josiah Lake tagged with that task for the Beavers. Had a brief window to Munch. He's trying to seal. Ekisi kicks corner, extra pass, rhythm 3. Williford hits heel, back tapped out, tracked down by Williford, bumped into the backcourt, and a travel call, and no foul. Simultaneously on the near side, Randall Anders called travel, and on the far side, Ben Cartmel raised his fist and overrules and says foul.
And I do think there was contact as we take another look here. I mean, it's minimal, but because of the momentum of Williford, it's 100% the right call.
It goes on Ensminger as his first, and the fouls are really piling up here on Herb Sendek's Broncos. So now 9 on Santa Clara, the last of the 1-and-1s for the Beavers, and a front-end miss. Circle that moment, down 4. Mahi against Williford. Throws it down. Oboye rejected and fouled. That'll be Williford with his first.
And that was a tremendous job of Williford. He had to help on the drive of Mahi and then get back into the play and force a foul. I mean, that's not easy to do. As we take another look here, you see him follow kind of the flight of the ball, and that was a 50-50 call there. That could have gone either way.
So now Oboye just 66% at the line. He's not your traditional 7-footer. He's 7'1", 220. He lost about 30 pounds from last year.
No.
But he was a 6'4" guard, a point guard in 2020 when he was at Clements High School in Sugar Land, Texas.
I wish I had that type of growth spurt. Man, that's, I mean, it's kind of similar to Anthony Davis and his early career, but it's incredible how sometimes that stuff happens.
So he gets them some breathing room, right? He had that big board, and now he's out, and Chikudabel is back in. Darlin also is returned. He has the ball defense against Ekisi. A dump inside. Suutela. Willingford willing to shoot, and misses. Weak side Napper. Napper on a switch has a big, falls down, gives it away. Ekisi leaving, disrupted and out of bounds.
And I thought Kessie probably could have had a layup if he was a little bit more aggressive, looking for his own opportunity. He had the angle, but he slowed down a little bit, waiting for the trailing Suutela, and great play there from Esminger.
Jorge Diaz-Graham subs in, the Pitt import, getting a lot more minutes as a Beaver. He's been a hot shooter of late. Kessie leave in the middle. Munch on the turnaround. Trying to follow, coughs it up. It's a 6-0 spurt for the Broncos. Can they tack on?
The Broncos, I want to see a little bit more execution down here in the half court.
Mahi corner. Three ball rained down. Ensminger.
And because of that hard hedge defense, a lot of times on the weak side, Oregon State is already in pre-help. So some of those one-pass quick swings are open for catch-and-shoot threes.
9-0 run. Kessie without much of a plan. It goes out of bounds off the Broncos. 16 to shoot.
Take a look again here. You see right there, Suutela is in the paint basically as the pick and roll is developing, helping way too early. That's an easy read. One pass away to the corner for open catch and shoot three.
Gavalugov is in. He fronts here against Lake. Lake plays a ton of minutes, over 34 a game, fourth most in the league. Lake falling away. Foul.
Lake is just so good at understanding when there is contact to go straight into that shooting motion, especially with the new rules in college basketball where the shooting foul is called on the pickup. It's right there. That's textbook. He seeks out the contact, feels it, and then goes straight into his shooting motion.
And he is a great free throw shooter. It's been almost 3 minutes since the Beavers have scored. Second most makes in the league. Last year, he set the program record. He shot 91% at the line. That's dropped to a still very good top 10 of the league, 82%. And we see Chukwudabel out. Alan Graves is in for the first time since he picked up his second at the 15:49 mark. So Lake is just about automatic. He converts. There's a lot of time for these homestanding Broncos. Their senior day, last game of the regular season for both teams. Broncos squarely on that bubble. A poke and a takeaway for Lake. Surveys. The dump to Munch. Up and rattles in.
Lake is surgical in those pick and rolls. He understands when he doesn't have an advantage, but there's two on him, when to give that ball up, and then you have an advantage on the weak side.
Inside. Hesitation for Darlin. On high, Mahi the same. He's got Diaz-Graham on him. The lob with a size mismatch. Munch late help. Opposite three ball. Darlin. No. And weak side of Kessie.
That's textbook defense from Oregon State, helping on the mismatch down low and then closing out hard on shooters.
Oregon State playing well of late, wins in 6 of 8 overall, 3 of 4 on the road, and another foul. High post to Darlin. That'll be his second. Now these veteran leaders trying to maximize the last game of the regular campaign. Wayne Tinkle knows his time is done at the end of the season. Herb Sendek has visions of returning to March.
So guys, just smile and say, switch to T-Mobile in just 15 minutes and get an iPhone 17 on them.
Switch to T-Mobile in just 15 minutes.
What they're trying to say is you can switch to T-Mobile and get iPhone 17 on us. And right now, we'll pay off your old phone up to $800.
Why can't we just say cheese?
Okay, cheese.
Plus, save up to 20% versus the other big guys by getting built-in benefits they leave out.
I'm switching and saving. I'm switching and saving.
A century ago, our founders made a promise to always take care of their own. That promise is still at the heart of everything we do, and why our members know we'll do what's right. Because at USAA, we take care of our own.
Is it the final vote?
We'll finally know which egg is loved most, Reese's or Cadbury.
Choose one. I choose both. Celebrate Easter with Reese's and Cadbury.
Last game of the regular year in the WCC for Santa Clara and Oregon State. Conference tournament comes calling next week. And we know the top 4 seeds are locked in. Gonzaga is the 1, St. Mary's is the 2. They have buys to the semis. Both Oregon State and Santa Clara have automatic entry to the quarterfinals.
And it's going to be interesting down the stretch, and even talking to their coaching staff. Obviously, this is a must-win, but that quarterfinal game for Santa Clara is also a must-win. So you got back-to-back must-wins to feel comfortable about getting an NCAA tournament berth.
Yeah, Herb Sendek program has not been to the NCAA tournament in 30 years since Steve Nash wore the Broncos uni. He was part of making them a national darling back in the 90s. Oregon State trying to slice into this deficit at the line. The Beavers have only led for 10 seconds, and yet it hasn't felt authoritative from the Broncos, who walloped Oregon State in their first meeting. Contested 3-ball, not there. The board, Graves fouled hard.
One of the things when you're hard hedging on pick and rolls, you got to get out there and stop the guard, but then also you have to come back into the play. I believe it was Munch who was hard hedging, and now he has to go into position into rebound. And you're talking about Graves, a guy who averages 3 offensive rebounds per game. You're not going to win that battle often if you're having a hard hedge and then try to box him out.
Foul to Lake, his first. Here comes Christian Hammond, the leading scorer for the Broncos. Graves has been dominant in the last month in particular, and both sat as red shirts, something they elected to do, were willing to do last year.
And that just shows the maturity and the wisdom from young players. Understand, look, I could take advantage of a year of basketball, still get paid some, and then also get better. I mean, it's not much better stuff to do than that.
The arrival of Graves as a decorated prep star in Louisiana to come all the way out west. Santa Clara saw him on the AAU circuit, and they were his first offer, his first visit. He lost weight that he himself will tell you he thought he needed to drop to be the best player he could be. He was under-recruited in his home region.
And he was the player of the year in Louisiana, won a state championship too. So very decorated career.
Well, it looks like intense pain there for Gavalugov, who was clutching at his upper right knee leg area. I don't know if he's just cramping, but he continues to clutch at that quad area right above his right knee. 3-ball for Darlin, playing with 2. Wow. Banker.
And again, because of the help side of Oregon State, 1 pass away, playing in those gaps. If you're ready to shoot, you'll have opportunities, even just of a 1 dribble penetration kick.
A lot of length here with Darlin guarding Lake on the ball. Munch, great fire inside, and 1 chance for Sutella.
And how about that pass from Munch? And just the stretch that Munch has had. His last 2 games, 14.5 points, 10 rebounds, 5 assists per game as a big. Beautiful high-low set for Oregon State. And a great job of Sutella of carving out space on that post-up for the angle to finish through the contact.
That's a second foul on Cochran. He is the 4th Bronco with 2 fouls, Trey. Well, Sutella, the and 1, converts. So he's going to sub out, and Ekasi comes back in. Some of the bigger names tethered to the bench right now. Cochran's more of a role player, but Graves has been in and out with 2, and Aboye has been in and out with 2. Graves back in on high for 3. Off iron, Mahi off the up fake, feeds a cutting Graves. Lefty finish.
Great job of Graves off the offensive rebound. Oregon State is scrambled in that situation, trying to match up and just cutting to the basket after missing the catch and shoot 3.
Lake. His angle to Munch denied. Ekisi. Fire, Diaz-Graham, elbow J. Munch tips it home.
And we've seen Graves at times struggle against fives rebounding the basketball. Obviously saw that against St. Mary's. Great job of Munch finding that position to get the tip in.
That's probably not where he projects, right?
No, he's a 4.
Off a great fake, Mahi miss. Poked by Diaz-Graham out of bounds.
Again, this is a beautiful cut from Graves off the offensive rebound. And then how about Munch off of that high-low action where he's posting up, understands the shot goes up, gets that position, is able to get the tip in.
Munch a game-high 11. He's coming off a career-high 19 against San Diego, an overtime win on Wednesday.
Here's this matchup zone from Oregon State. It's not a 2-3, it's a matchup. They just guard an area.
Graves to Mahi. Nice lead for Graves. Fights through.
And against that type of defense, you got to be assertive with what you do on the offensive end. You have to play with authority and confidence, because a lot of times the point of the defense is to try to make you hesitant.
And Kissy slams on the brakes. Lead for Lake. C is back in there with 2 fouls. Munch carving space and a foul on Graves. That's going to be his 3rd. Now he's got to sit the rest of it.
And I'm going to say this. Watching shoot around, the Broncos went live quite a bit. I counted on one possession how many. There was 4 or 5 hand checks on one possession. So a lot of times what you do in practice carries over to the games. And even this morning when they were in shoot around, it was a lot of hand checks, a lot of physicality. Guys playing hard, obviously, but you have to be able to play hard and aggressive without fouling.
So now Munch at the stripe, 63%. He also was a longtime point guard that had a growth spurt. Able to convert. And he was efficient, nearly had a double-double in their win against San Diego last time out. Yeah, when these teams matched up the first time, Oregon State was coming off of arguably its best win in Arizona State. Yep. Santa Clara was coming off undeniably its worst loss to Loyola Chicago. And Santa Clara blew them up, while Christian Hammond did not finish in double figures. And again tonight, Hammond hasn't even touched the ball a ton.
Yeah, they really blitzed the Broncos in their first matchup. And they had a hard time handling the pressure. This game, Oregon State has done a tremendous job, much improved from the previous matchup, of handling pressure, attacking kind of that ball pressure on the perimeter, and even the bigs are playing much more confident as well.
Oh, baseline trigger to come. Foul to Lake is his 2nd. Foul concern significant for the Broncos, but burgeoning for the Beavers as well. Napper out of the corner. There just hasn't been that big bucket tapped out of bounds. Is there something missing for the Broncos, or the Beavers disrupting in some way?
And you can feel a little bit of the heaviness, the weight of this game, right? I mean, this is a program that hasn't been to the NCAA tournament in 30 years. This is a must-win game. You can't get in as an at-large if you lose this game, so you kind of feel that pressure from Santa Clara.
And Wayne Tinkle echoed what you had thought coming into the game, that it's almost a house money situation for Oregon State.
I always feel like it's easier as a guard to play when those situations occur.
Oh, great ball movement. C loads out of the corner. Flat miss. So here come the Broncos. A game they cannot lose. A giant landmine. Ensminger slams on the brakes. Off the up fake. Napper. Lake's got it.
Not to be overly critical, there just hasn't been any offensive sets run. It's just a lot of dribble drive, attack, kind of random pickup play, which has been effective at times because they're talented and they move the ball, but want to see them kind of balance it out a little bit too.
Akissi opposite to C, wide open Lake. Misses, and Akissi couldn't handle, gives it up to Napper. Now, you had asked Herb Sendek about facing the weight of a game like this, and he was a little dismissive, said, you know, day by day process, and pointed out a truth. They have faced that most games on their year. If they'd lost any other game, or many other games to be fair.
Right.
Ensminger miss. but it has to get more intense. It's the reality, right? They're human beings.
Yeah, they're humans.
Munch fouled. Another Bronco foul. Oh, Wayne Tinkle pumping his fist saying that's right.
See this again in transition. That could have went 50-50, but the ref didn't think they were set. And now Santa Clara 14 first half fouls.
Get all things soccer with CBS Sports Golazo Network. Live matches from across the globe. All the latest news and highlights. When soccer is everything, the Golazo Network is the destination for you. Streaming free 24/7.
Hi. Hi. Chocolate fundraiser.
With the Chase mobile app, things move a little more smoothly. Deposit checks easily and send money quickly. That's convenience from Chase. Make more of what's yours.
Ascending to the top takes focus, dedication, commitment. One thing above all else. What you put first defines you. At Werner, we put safety above all. No shortcuts, no compromises. Because we believe that what you stand on should match what you stand for. Werner, proud to support and protect those who continue to reach higher. The official ladder of NCAA March Madness.
100 years ago, no one would insure cars for military members. So a group of soldiers backed each other. Today, we're still serving the military and their families with those same values our founders shared. Because at USAA, we take care of our own.
I've got this old bike and I got the receipt right here. I'd like for you to beat it with a better deal on the souped-up model.
We can't do that. Verizon does. Bring in your AT&T or T-Mobile bill for a better deal.
You're not as cool as Verizon.
CBS Sports HQ hits every highlight from all the sports that matter to you.
A lot of movement in the rankings this week.
And analysis to give you an edge.
Big news coming out of the NFL.
I was shaking in my boots. CBS Sports HQ. Streaming free 24/7.
Oregon State playing loose, a tight game. Santa Clara's lead at 3. Time now for the player profile, brought to you by State Farm. Josiah Lake II, a winner in his high school days, followed in his father's footsteps in a very literal fashion. Both walked on at Oregon State, both later earned scholarships, and it was kind of in the cards right from the beginning. Pops were able to pave that initial path.
And it's great that he had an example of a father, this Josiah Lake II, to be able to kind of guide him through how to be a walk-on. What are the things that coaches are looking for? And then gradually he built the trust of his coaching staff, and now he's the best player for Oregon State.
Josiah Lake right there from his birth into the world, given the orange and black. He took to hoops at a young age. He wanted to be a Beaver. He walked on. He earned a scholarship. He is their leading scorer. And one minor correction, lead referee Eric Curry came over during break. The second foul charge to Lake was a mistake by the table. That was actually charged to Johan Munch. So Lake only has 1. There are 5 Broncos with 2, and Graves, arguably their most dynamic player, already has 3.
Wow.
Free throw miss for Munch. So free throw attempts are now plus 11 Oregon State. Points are plus 7 Oregon State at the line. And he misses both. Opportunities lost at the line for Oregon State. Hammond getting a rare touch. Funnels corner, wide open Napper, got it.
And on that one, there was poor miscommunication there from Oregon State as both guys picked up the ball handler, and the backside of the zone did not take the corner.
Lake picks up the pound. Snaps it off, Suutela. Lake on the wing, 12 to shoot. Surveys, kicks, Akissi, 5 to shoot. Driving, finishing. He just willed his way to the basket. We'll get a timeout, Oregon State. We'll take one as well. We'll be back in 30. We've got a 4-point game, under 2 in the first.
Hi. Hi.
With the Chase mobile app, things move a little more smoothly. Deposit checks easily and send money quickly. That's convenience from Chase. Make more of what's yours.
Coming up, AT&T at the half, Zach Aldridge, Ice Young, Roy Hibbert, John Rothstein standing by in our New York studio. We'll get you up to speed on today's college basketball action. Many bubble scores to be had. AT&T at the half. Curious timeout for Oregon State. They did sub back in Jorge Diaz-Graham, one of their hotter offensive players who's been silent offensively so far today. Mahi driving on Diaz-Graham, a high kiss miss. Won briefly by the Broncos, squirts on a foul, and that will go on Diaz-Graham. Santa Clara is viewed by CBS Sports Bracketology as the last team in as things stand. Net ranking of 41. Bluntly, if they lose, their at-large chances die with a loss.
100%. And you know, this would be considered a bad loss, and not only do they have to win this one, again, they got to win that quarterfinal game as well. I believe the 6th seed right now is Pacific, so if Pacific were to advance, they would face off Pacific.
Jakuta Bell just 7 of 13 at the line entering today, hits 1 of 2. The Broncos trying to snap a 30-year drought of making the NCAA tournament. Lake rips through on a switch. He has Ensminger. Akissi against the bigger Mahi. All wide open. Lake on high. Hits the heel. Ensminger's got it.
Broncos fortunate on that one. Lake shoots 50% on open catch and shoot threes.
Mahi against Diaz-Graham. Ensminger leaves for Mahi. Doesn't pull the trigger. Quick close. Hammond getting a rare touch. He's their leading scorer. Feeds Mahi, 7 to shoot. They got a hoist. Mahi fought away. Tough miss. Diaz-Graham got hit in the back of the head.
And right now, Oregon State's doing a terrific job of keeping Hammond in front. And Hammond's not been able to get any advantages off the bounce. So even when he drives in there, he has to pick up his dribble and pass it out.
Got about a 6-second differential. Are you holding a bit?
No, 100%. Yeah, you want to hold as long as possible. If the ball goes off the rim, then they only get it with like 4 seconds.
Sutella, 4 to shoot. Top of the key, 3! Hits heel again, Ensminger. 3 seconds, Ensminger from half court. Air ball. And a 5-point Bronco edge at the break. Well, we'll step aside. Halftime is here. 38-33 Santa Clara. After the break, to Zach and the gang in New York with AT&T at the half. You're watching March to March, presented by Principal.
Get ready, Hoop fans. West Coast Conference basketball is back in Las Vegas.
March 5th to the 10th at Orleans Arena.
How clutch is that?
In the West Coast Conference,
we play with passion.
Nothing's given.
Everything's earned. Who will be the last one standing?
Unbelievable!
We'll see you in Vegas at the Credit Union One
WCC Basketball Championship.
We rise in the West.
We're pushing the boundaries and redefining what's possible. In science, technology, and all the things that matter. We're solving problems, making big discoveries, relentlessly pursuing what's next. In every corner of the state and beyond. Because the harder the challenge, the stronger our drive to solve it. That's why we are Oregon's Research University.
If you've been in an accident that wasn't your fault, well, your favorite attorney has a message for you. Collision, calamity, catastrophe? Are you innocent, faultless, above reproach? If you want money, you need an attorney. You need a bulldog. But finding one, it's laborious, it's strenuous, it's stupefying. That's why you gotta call the number on your screen now. They'll help you connect to a legal expert. You have questions, they have answers. They know the legalese, the lingo, the jargon, and the argot. They'll even tell you how much money your case could be worth. $300,000, $2 million, $86,491, all sorts of numbers. Slip and falls, work accidents, car, truck, bus, motorcycle, motorbike, e-bike, tandem bike. These bulldogs will make sure people pay. And if you don't get paid, the attorneys don't get paid, and I don't get paid. So I compel you, I implore you, I beseech you to pick up that phone and call now to see what your case could be worth.
800-801-4581.
Yes, I actually won!
See this? It just arrived from Deal Dash, a Nintendo Switch 2.
Look what I just won. I love Deal Dash.
With millions of auctions, you too can start winning, like this.
I got this amazing Japanese knife set for just 75 cents.
I got this KitchenAid stand mixer for only $56.
And today, new users get a $50 bonus credit. Go to DealDash.com right now for huge savings
and free shipping from our U.S. warehouses.
This is AT&T at the Half. Connecting changes everything.
Welcome inside our CBS Sports Network studios for AT&T at the Half. I'm Zach Aldridge, joined by Ice Young, Roy Hibbert, and John Ross.
Giddy up.
20 minutes of basketball behind us with Oregon State and Santa Clara is a 5-point advantage for Santa Clara. They won by 38 when they first played back in December. Now, what are you looking at when you see this one, Roy?
Well, what I like about Santa Clara is they're hitting 7 threes so far. That's what they do. That's in their bag. But they're rebounding a lot of their misses. 9 offensive rebounds, so they're eating. They're getting points off of those second chance points right there. So let's take a look at this. We're out on the break. We're going to get to the front of the rim. We got to make this layup right here. But you know what? It's good when you have a big fella that's going to follow up offensive rebound. You got the and one right there. Again, take your time. Good little pass off the offensive rebound. They lay it up. So obviously, if they keep hitting threes and keep, offensive rebounding, they should be on their way to be on their way.
Broncos have won 12 straight games when leading at the half. Some top 25 action around the country we'll get to, where we start at Madison Square Garden. Last time we saw St. John's play, they got absolutely blown out by the Huskies on Wednesday night, and one of the worst losses in Rick Pitino's coaching career. Tonight, hosting Villanova, looking for a little bit of get back, and Ice looking like they're going to get it.
Yeah, Dylan Mitchell here takes it for the left-handed slam in the middle of the lane. You're right, big man. That was nasty. St. John's up double digits. The steal and the windmill in transition is Ian Jackson. And get this, it's halftime of this game. St. John's is 48 points. That's 8 more than they scored total versus UConn.
Be down.
Rick Pitino wearing that white suit, so we know what time it is there. St. Louis trying to get back on the right side of things right here, John.
Yeah, but Terrence Ginyard makes that 3, and Duquesne not going easy, but Ishan Sharma, one half of the Atlantic 10 version of the Splash Brothers, makes that 3. Sharma again off a curl. The Virginia transfer has intergalactic range, but John Hughley, you might remember from Xavier last season, big burly presence, knocks that down. Duke's up by 2. That's a big game for St. Louis to hold its seed line. Zach, we look at the rest around the country now. Florida, the dark horse right now, in my opinion, to be the 4th #1 seed on Selection Sunday and compete with UConn. That's your alma mater.
Yes.
North Carolina, no Caleb Wilson, no problem. It's kind of like us without Brent Stover.
Music to my ears right there. I like it, John. We'll hit some other highlights on the other side, but first, here's a look at Jake Ensminger knocking down a tray. Halftime, Oregon State, Santa Clara.
At AT&T, everyone deserves our best deal. Like the new Samsung Galaxy S26 Ultra for $0. New customers, existing customers, everyone. Reimagine your world with Galaxy AI. Make it pop. Make it art. Make it yours. New and existing customers can get the new Samsung Galaxy S26 Ultra for $0 with eligible trade-in, any condition.
Spring, the unofficial new year for tool people. A time to start new jobs and tackle new projects with new tools from Harbor Freight. Whether you're a pro or just like doing things yourself, we've got the quality tools and savings to start your new year off right. So come celebrate spring savings at Harbor Freight. This weekend, get a free 5-gallon bucket when you spend $29.99 in store.
A century ago, our founders made a promise to always take care of their own. That promise is still at the heart of everything we do, and why our members know we'll do what's right. Because at USAA, we take care of our own.
Reese's meets Oreo. Now you meet our Reese's Oreo Cups. It's the collab everyone's been asking for. Who knew giving in to peer pressure could taste this good? Oh, wait. Guess you did.
Josh, you're a pro baller, podcaster, and a wine connoisseur. Is there anyone doing as much as you right now?
Only Tommy John. They're doing the most. Soft, stylish, and supportive. This is Underwear with Game.
Masking your body odor with a scent is like fixing a rattling engine by turning up the music. It's just masking your problem. Don't mask it. Mando it.
When you talk about competence, it's about pursuing your unique gift.
Back here with AT&T on the half. Virginia and Duke. Duke means business, John.
It was a major business statement by the Blue Devils. Isaiah Evans, maybe the key to Duke getting back to a Final Four, was ridiculous offensively, drilling shots all day long, but this guy can also make shots. That is Cam Boozer over the top of the defense. Then great pass, Kevin Love-like outlet pass right there. Boozer to Evans. Duke clinches at least a share of the ACC regular season title.
Meanwhile, Seton Hall on the bubble could use a win against UConn. This one was controversial, Roy.
Shout out to Alex Caravan getting his jersey up in the rafters on senior night. Wish that could have happened to me. But Alex Caravan, he comes off the pin down. He knocks down the three at the top of the key. Seton Hall down one. All right. Elijah Fisher, he's going to knock that three in the corner. UConn down. Solo ball's going to drive baseline. He's going to have the make. No, he misses it. The big fella, Terrence Reed, gets it back up, puts it in. The game is tied up. Final seconds. Bud Clark, he's going to look for a foul right here. Silas Demery may have had his hand in the cookie jar on replay. I think he did. The Huskies go on to win 71-67. A little controversy there.
Yeah, no foul called in Seton Hall with a prime opportunity wasted there. Meanwhile, in the Big 12, you get Kansas at Arizona. Man, the Wildcats with Koa Pete back in action look good, Ice.
This team fueled and ready to score the basketball. Got to get it to Darren Peterson if you want a chance. He knocks it down in rhythm from three. Arizona back up double digits. How about the step back from Jaden Bradley? Cannot guard him. And then Burries gets into the mid-range for the pull-up. He had a team-high 20 points, and Arizona gets a top 15 win.
They couldn't share the Big 12 regular season title. And then meanwhile, over at Texas Tech, Iowa State on CBS.
Taman Lipsey for two in the lane. Makes it look easy. All right, under 5. Texas Tech up 11. Make it 14. Donovan Atwell says, I'm a sniper. You got to guard me from the outside. Things are looking scary for the Cyclones, and it gets worse as Christian Anderson drives to the rack. The scoop and the finish. Texas Tech's third win versus a top 5 opponent this season.
More bubble love. San Diego State at New Mexico on CBS, Roy.
Yeah, Jay Cole, he's going to get into the heart of the paint, take the bump, he spins, he'll knock it down. The Lobos are up by 3. San Diego State down 3. Sean Newman hits the corner. He has a quick trigger. Then Uriah Tennant, he's going to get it to Luke Hop. He's going to knock down that 3. Then San Diego State is down by 3. B.J. Davis, last second shot, goes for the 3. He airballs it. Lobos win 81-76.
A very busy and eventful day around the country, which leads us to the big news coming out of the Big Ten. Michigan's L.J. Kaysen will miss the rest of the season after suffering a torn ACL in Friday night's win over Illinois. John, this is a huge blow to a team with title hopes.
Yeah, L.J. Kaysen has separated himself as the best backup point guard in college basketball. And now without him, Michigan's tight 9-man rotation obviously now is shortened to 8 players. But this was obviously part of what made Michigan so formidable. Yes, obviously the front line of the Wolverines was something that was a separator, but L.J. Kaysen had emerged this year and improved dramatically as an outside shooter. I talked to Brad Underwood prior to the game on Friday night when Illinois played Michigan. Michigan. He felt that when Michigan went to its bench, it became a better offensive team. A big part of that was L.J. Kaysen. So Michigan obviously still a team that has the requisites to get to a Final Four in Indianapolis, but the Wolverines are not the same team.
Yeah, I feel like more is going to be asked of Elliot Cadeau. He's been having a couple good games lately, being able to score at a high rate, distribute the ball. But now I have a feeling he's going to need to make sure he stays out of foul trouble the next couple weeks because they're going to need that depth.
I totally agree. And the chemistry with that second unit, John, I totally agree that second unit really pours it on offensively. So now you've got to figure out how Elliot Cadeau can mesh with that unit. It's not that he can't, and not that he hasn't had minutes, but he hasn't had major minutes with this unit because of the way in which they rotated things. So it'll be interesting to see if they can figure it out.
Have to find out quickly if they can figure it out before things really start to count, because March is right around the corner. The second half from Santa Clara is coming up after the break. We will see how that one finishes up and see you later on.
Thank you for watching AT&T at the Half. Okay, you can stop asking for Reese's Oreo Cups because we literally made Reese's Oreo Cups. And they taste, amazing. That's probably why you asked for them in the first place, huh? Smart.
That's it. We're switching teams.
You can't just switch.
I mean, we just switched to Verizon. Got 4 new iPhone 17 Pros on them.
It's good to be on a winning team.
Come into Verizon and get 4 iPhone 17 Pros on us.
Nachos?
Thanks.
Hi, folks. Joe Namath here. And if you're having a hard time hearing, call MD Hearing because they changed my life and they can change yours too. I was wearing expensive hearing aids for years until a good friend of mine told me about MD Hearing. I bought a pair of the hearing aids with no doctor visit, no prescription, and no hassle. I got fitted right over the phone, and I've never had a better pair of hearing aids. I'm even wearing them right now.
Call now and get 2 rechargeable Neo hearing aids for just $297 with a free portable charging case and free shipping. The rechargeable Neo is nearly invisible with its tiny in-the-ear canal design, and you can get 2 rechargeable Neo hearing aids with a 45-day risk-free trial, free shipping, and free lifetime U.S.-based support for only $297.
Call my friends at MD Hearing and get the over-the-counter hearing aids that I use for you.
Call 800-581-8730.
Yes, I actually won!
See this? It just arrived from Deal Dash, a Nintendo Switch 2.
Look what I just won. I love Deal Dash.
With millions of auctions, you too can start winning, like this.
I got this amazing Japanese knife set for just 75 cents.
I got this KitchenAid stand mixer for only $56.
And today, new users get a $50 bonus credit. Go to DealDash.com right now for huge savings
and free shipping from our U.S. warehouses.
Back at Santa Clara, 5-point affair at the break. Our first half stats, the bench of the Broncos outdoing that of the Beavers. Oregon State led by Johan Munch with a game-high 13. The biggest discrepancy at the line. Oregon State was +8 in free throw attempts in the first half. 14 fouls on the Broncos. We welcome you courtside alongside Trey Debs. I'm John Sadak with our CBS Sports crew. What stood out to you?
Well, I think really just the fact that how much Santa Clara, and rightfully so, is really pressing right now on the offensive end, especially in the half court. What's kept them in it is the fact that they made 7 threes in the first half.
Let's take a look at one of our biggest stars in this game so far. Experts at Work, brought to you by Principal. Johan Munch able to finish a bunch.
Yeah, Munch is taking advantage of the fact that the bigs for Santa Clara are in foul trouble. It's been isolations, it's been high-low situations, offensive rebounds. He's really dominated the painted area.
Meanwhile, for Santa Clara, their top man on the year hasn't seen the ball a whole lot. Christian Hammond played 15 minutes. He scores 16 a game. That's 4th most in the West Coast Conference. He's got 1 bucket so far tonight.
Well, give Oregon State a ton of credit. I really feel like the way that they've defended him, keeping him in front, and Christian Hammond's a guy that really needs angles to carve out some of those angles to get his shot up, and they have not given him any angles on the offensive end.
These teams opened conference play against each other back in December in Corvallis. That was the Broncos' first win in Corvallis since 1952. They blew up the Beavers, 102-64. The Broncos have not led this game by more than 8. The Beavers led by 1 point for 10 seconds, but they're in the game. Lake off the bounce. C for three. Got it. Only the third made triple for the Beavers of the game.
And he's been hunting his shot. Over his last 2 games, has taken 17 3-point field goals. And this is a guy that you can't give any airspace to.
Napper to Oboye, whose minutes were limited. Alley-oop! And the furious jam! No foul trouble at the start of the second.
You know what we saw there, John, is an actual set being run. And that's what I feel like Santa Clara needs more of. It's just more bounce. You could play free, drive and kick, transition, but you have to balance that out a little bit with offensive sets.
Diaz-Graham to Munch. Back to Diaz-Graham. Slicing, dicing, rejected by Oboye. Here comes Hammond. Mahi was not shy about shooting in the first. Napper coming off a solid first stanza. Now it's getting a little static again. Oh, behind the back. Tied up briefly. Ball squirts free. Hammond tracks it down. It was tipped into the backcourt. 6 seconds for three. No. And a purposeful poke. Ensminger sets it up and Mahi puts it home.
It's a really good job of Ensminger at the end of the shot clock, crashing the glass. You either got to get back in transition or you got to crash the glass hard, and doing a good job reading the flight of that ball and tipping it out.
Probably the best rhythm on back-to-back possessions we've seen from the Broncos, maybe on the game. Oh, and taken away. Hot potato for Lake. And an easy deuce for Napper.
For Oregon State, the reason why they're down 8, it's turnovers, and then also just giving up a ton of open catch and shoot threes. Santa Clara made 7 in the first half.
6-0 run in a heartbeat. Zuntella screen. Munch wants into the post against Oboye. Gets fed off the block. Off the up fake. Coughed it up. Foul. That'll be number 3 on Buki Oboye. He's an impactful player.
See here, nice lob and set coming out to the second half, and then the block showing off the athleticism, but on the defensive end picking up another foul. His last 4 games has had 4 or more fouls.
Well, Munch at the line. The truth is the Beavers will make a sub. Akissi will come in fairly early. They'll get a little smaller here. Suatella out. You pointed out during halftime, Trey, the amount of misses they had at the line and on open threes.
Yeah, I mean, you got to convert on the road from free throw line. Now 13 of 20. The fact that you have 20 free throws on the road, like, you got to take advantage of that if you're Oregon State.
Slithering in, and one on the reverse for Brett Napper.
And all year long, Napper has been the X factor of this team. In and out of the starting lineups, doing a great job of attacking and realizing that there's an open lane as he was dribbling it over to the right wing, using the other side of the basket to finish through the contact.
That's the second on Lake, and one free throw is good. This is the first real run that Herb Sendek's team has made to grab a bit of command.
Yeah.
This is the largest margin the game has seen.
And sometimes that's all you need is a quick 6-0 run just to make you feel comfortable. And now you don't feel as much pressure and weight playing at home and playing for an NCAA tournament berth.
Well, a 9-2 spurt to take this 9-point lead. Beavers need answers. C, deep 3 miss, rebounded by the Beavers in Lake. Now they're getting a little static. Diaz-Graham flashes through. C sees a seam, drives. Gray to the lane giveaway. Ensminger, headman to Hammond. 2-on-1. And he's fouled by Lake. That'll be his third.
Coach Sendek is calling for a flagrant foul there. Didn't really look like Lake went for the ball.
I think he's asking for an intentional.
Or intentional, excuse me.
With he made the crossed X with his arms, and they're going to go to the monitor.
Players under further review for an upgrade to a flagrant foul.
And they are looking at a possibility of a flagrant. But Herb Sendek raised both forearms in a crossed X to indicate that he thought it was an intentional foul, and it probably was, right?
Yeah, I think so. And there didn't really seem to be a play on the ball. I think Lake made up his mind that he was going to foul in that 2-on-1 situation. You see that right arm start to kind of go into a swatting motion. That shows you right there he's not really trying to make a play of the ball. He's trying to get a foul and stop a fast break. And I think, that's not legal.
But Eric Curry is saying that they were looking at the possibility of upgrading to a flagrant. Is there anything that's extreme about this? There's no contact to the head or neck area. I mean, I'm not sure that it qualifies as a flagrant foul.
Yeah, that.
And there's also some uncertainty about the foul total, because at one point Lake had 2 in the first. Eric Curry came over and corrected that the foul was supposed to go on Munch, 24, not 2 Lake. So he went down from 2 fouls to 1. But with this last foul, the book now shows him with 2 again, and he just had one a play ago.
Yeah.
So he should be listed with 3. This is what's necessary for flagrant 1 and 2. Has to be excessive in nature, unnecessary contact. A flagrant 2, not only excessive, but severe and extreme contact with the opponent while the ball is live. And I think we've seen harder contact in other fouls tonight.
I mean, this was 30 years ago. That's a common foul play on. I mean, obviously times have changed to protect players and their safety.
Previous play has been upgraded to a flagrant 1 foul.
Please.
On number 2 in black.
Thank you. So we do get word. It is upgraded to a flagrant 1.
And again, I think it's the 2 hands, and especially that right hand, that's going to almost attack Hammond. And obviously the contact wasn't major, but I think it was the overall intent was not to make a play necessarily on the ball.
So Hammond will get a chance to go to the line, held to just 2 points in the first. He's a top 10 free throw shooter in the West Coast Conference at 79%, and he converts on shot number 1. And hits them both. Tonight, 1:30 a.m. Eastern, set sail with CBS Sports Network. Get ready to witness thrills and spills in the most intense race on water with the KPMG Australia Sail Grand Prix. Now the Broncos have the ball as well. Mahi. Is Hammond getting hot? Mahi off the fake. Palms it up and a throwdown. Oh, what a setup for Aboye. His second dunk since the break.
And it was the patience of Mahi as he was driving into the painted area. Kind of hesitated, waited for the defense to go back out to the perimeter, opened up the lane. He was able to get the angle to throw the lob.
A 7-0 run for Santa Clara. Timeout called by the Beavers. They need pause. The Broncos are coming with the fury to the rack. You're watching March to March, presented by Principal.
Thinking of updating my kitchen? Yeah. Yes. This year, we are finally updating our kitchen. Doing subway tile and an ivory or eggshell. Cream, maybe bone. Don't get me started on quartz. Big island. You ever heard of a waterfall counter?
For everyone who talks about doing that thing,
And over there,
but never does that thing,
sweet little breakfast nook.
Chase has financial guidance.
See how you can start saving to make this happen.
Really?
Really?
Really.
At home or in person.
You could also check out a Chase Money Skills workshop.
That's guidance from Chase. Make more of what's yours.
Ascending to the top takes focus, dedication, commitment. One thing above all else. What you put first defines you. At Werner, we put safety above all. No shortcuts, no compromises. Because we believe that what you stand on should match what you stand for. Werner, proud to support and protect those who continue to reach higher. The official ladder of NCAA March Madness.
I've got this old bike and I got the receipt right here. I'd like for you to beat it with a better deal on the souped-up model.
We can't do that. Verizon does. Bring in your AT&T or T-Mobile bill for a better deal.
You're not as cool as Verizon.
Reese's meets Oreo. Now you meet our Reese's Oreo Cups. It's the collab everyone's been asking for. Who knew giving in to peer pressure could taste this good? Oh, wait. Guess you did.
In March, anything is possible. That's a massive jam. EK. Wow. Cameron Cruiser. Hard to the hole. Dribble for the win. Yes!
Hours until March. The majesty of the madness, it's on the horizon. Championships will be won and lost all around the country. It's the greatest time to be alive in college basketball. The NCAA tournament soon will be back. The Broncos have visions of joining that party for the first time in 30 years. Oregon State trying to play spoiler. A Beaver upset tonight would assuredly derail at-large aspirations for Santa Clara. And the Beavers have reason to believe, based upon their own history, they've come out of nowhere before. In the WCC, only 3 times in the league's history have 3 teams made the big dance. They got 3 teams with really good resumes this year.
Yeah, I mean, you look at Gonzaga, St. Mary's, those 2 teams are powerhouses in the WCC. And St. Mary's is kind of floating and flirting with the bubble themselves. They're currently firm at that 10 seed right there. Gonzaga having a terrific year, 28-2. They have so much depth and firepower.
No team outside of Gonzaga or St. Mary's has won the West Coast Conference Tournament since San Diego in 2008. Later went on to beat UConn to the big dance. Out of an Oregon State timeout, what do we see from the Beavers? They're facing a daunting deficit. Oh, great up fake, and that got a Boye in the air, who crashes down for a costly 4th foul, and a scene that could have been ugly for a Kessie underneath and a Boye over top.
Fortunately, Kessie's okay there as we see the replay. That's a great job of playing off of 2 feet, though, and understanding you're going up against a shot blocker, be fundamentally sound, try to get him in the air, but Boye just flying through and just thankful that everybody's okay on that play.
That's 4 fouls on Buki Oboye. He only plays 18 minutes a game in part because he is so incredibly foul prone.
I mean, his ability to alter shots around the rim, he's versatile, he can guard multiple positions. A great ball screen defender, as the Broncos like the hard hedge, so he's very valuable and important to this team.
And it's Allen Graves, who's had his own foul concern. He enters with 3, who takes his spot. Different pressure here for the Beavers.
Yeah, 1-2-2 to just try to disrupt the rhythm of the Broncos a little bit.
You love what Brent Napper has given of late.
Yeah, he's just a kind of a calming force and makes the right reads. Doesn't always make the shots and is a little bit undersized, but understands when to shoot, when to pass.
Mahi wanted that ball. Sidestep 3. No. Great follow and 1. Hammond out of nowhere darts in for a bucket.
Because Oregon State is playing zone, there's so many unaccounted for players, and for Oregon State, you're trying to close out on shooters, you're worried about the bigs, and oftentimes that leaves a perimeter player free. It's a great job of Hammond not just being a bystander, but attacking the glass and being able to get the and one, finishing through contact.
Well, the foul goes on Lake, and here come the Beavers. Akissi. Nice leave, and Munch puts it home.
Munch does such a great job of playing off a dribble penetration. He understands where to go to the opening spots of the floor. It's a beautiful play from Mahi. Nice footwork in transition.
See the dump to Munch. Double comes. Opposite. Lake for 3. Got it.
And again, it's Munch with the hockey assist. He sets the screen, gets the ball, recognizes he gets double teamed, and gives himself up. Great swing, and an open shot for Lake.
Broncos visibly spreading the floor. Graves carving space inside, getting three-quartered by Munch. Napper denied on the drive. Lake stays with him. Mahi thought about the hesitant three. Graves stumbled awkwardly. Hammond created the lane giveaway. Nice look at Kissy, the hesitant three, short. The possession so precious for the Beavers.
And that's the one thing the Beavers have lacked. They've really struggled shooting the three ball. 4 of 16 now from three.
Taken away by Munch. Sutella on the run, too long, couldn't handle, out of bounds.
Got Mahi attacking downhill in transition. You got the nice footwork, finishing with the left hand. Santa Clara starting to pick up some rhythm offensively.
So guys, just smile and say, switch to T-Mobile in just 15 minutes and get an iPhone 17 on them.
Switch to T-Mobile in just 15 minutes.
What they're trying to say is you can switch to T-Mobile and get iPhone 17 on us. And right now, we'll pay off your old phone up to $800.
Why can't we just say cheese?
Okay, cheese.
Plus, save up to 20% versus the other big guys by getting built-in benefits they leave out.
I'm switching and saving. I'm switching and saving.
You're so much more than just a landowner. You're a gardener, a groundskeeper, a landscaper. Because you didn't settle for ordinary. Same goes for your equipment. Versatile, powerful, durable Kubota equipment. More goes into it, so you get more out of it.
They don't know the first thing about you or Walmart Plus. Like that Walmart Plus members get free delivery on more than just groceries. Free delivery on these apples and this shirt. Knowing about Walmart Plus is a beautiful thing.
College basketball on CBS Sports Network is sponsored by State Farm. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. And by Old Trapper Beef Jerky. What's your beef?
2020-2021 Beavers, a magical ride as a 5 seed took the Pac-12 tournament title, the first ever in program history, and then as a 12 seed in the Big Dance all the way to the Elite Eight. Beat Tennessee, beat Oklahoma State, beat Loyola Chicago, underdogs in every postseason game on that road.
Yeah, that was a magical run, and led by Ethan Thompson, who was a tremendous player and guard and shot maker for that Oregon State team.
Beavers Athletics announced on Thursday it had decided to part ways with Wayne Tinkle. He was given the choice, took a few hours to mull it over, decided he would coach the rest of the season, influenced heavily by the emotional outpour of his players. But now Santa Clara, we were talking some during the break, you feel the start of the second half has been the junction point of the game.
Yeah, I mean, they scored 13 points in the first 4 minutes of that second half. And I really feel like when it comes said and done, that's going to be the difference of this game.
Graves kick, Napper three, no. Rattles loose to Mahi. Graves wants it. He pops a triple. Got it. His first make from deep tonight.
And amongst the things that he does great in conference play, a 41% three-point shooter.
His turnaround from non-league into league significant. McKissy wrapping around. Sutella trying to bully ball. Turnaround is good. Throwback shot over Darlin.
Good job with Sutella getting over that left shoulder, being able to go over the smaller Darlin.
Napper rejected, and a foul as Munch gave help.
See here, there's not a lot of bigs that are freshmen in the country that can make open catch and shoot threes, let alone a contested catch and shoot three there. So talented, and I think a lot of teams probably in the southeast region of the country missed out on a terrific talent.
Able to convert the first, foul to Kessie. Ensminger's in, Mahi is out. Brenton Napper grew up in Charleston, West Virginia, moved out to Ontario, California in his high school days. His brother Brandon, a hooper at West Virginia, then had a short stint of dominance at Eastern Kentucky. He put up almost 18 a game. Hammond is back. Napper is out. It just feels like there's a sense of rhythm to Santa Clara that it did not have in the first half at all.
Yeah, just doing a much better job of running sets and running concepts. And I know a lot of times you don't run sets per se in the modern basketball, but just having a more deliberance about what they want to do on the offensive end.
See on the drive. Banker miss, and Graves has it. Hammond. Graves, quick touch off the jab step. Cochran. Darlin is the size advantage. Wrapping around. Graves all day. No. Ensminger pokes it, and the finish floated home by Cochran.
That's the second time we've seen Ensminger make that touch pass off of an offensive rebound, a high IQ play to get your teammate a shot.
Lake steaming down the floor, and a foul.
Take another look at it again. A missed three-point opportunity. In that situation, he could grab it and try to go up with it himself, but sees his open teammate in Cochran and just taps it right to him quickly, and the defense can't react, and that's an easy bucket.
Foul to Hammond, his second chance points, a giant difference in favor of Santa Clara. Roles were reversed in their loss to St. Mary's last time out. Kessie able to cradle that ball, and he gets fouled.
And that's one of those ones, if you're Santa Clara, there's no need in that situation to try to go for a block. I mean, you kind of have Kessie dead in water going up against two guys and being the smallest of the three, and you kind of just bail him out by trying to go for the block. I think if you just have your hands up and go vertical, he's going to miss it, and you can go out running.
Free throw miss tomorrow morning, 7 Eastern. Head out to the pitch, catch a Scottish Professional Football League showdown. Rangers host Celtic in Old Firm Derby right here on CBS Sports Network. Well, the foul to Cochran is third. Kessie hits the back end. Sub for the Beavers. Williford is back, and C is out. And at some point, the Beavers have to start getting more stops in addition to scores, right?
They do, and they've been trying to mix things up defensively. I think you got to kind of pick one defense that you can find effective.
Cochran miss, loose ball Broncos. Ensminger hit and foul, trying to back to the basket, put it home.
And now that's 6 offensive rebounds for the Broncos in the second half, and a lot of that has to do, again, when you're playing zone, matchup zone, 2-3 zone, you're out of position when that shot goes up. You're so worried about getting a contest, trying to box out a big. There's always going to be free guys on the weak side able to float, and a lot of times it's been Ensminger.
And foul to Yak, his second. Ensminger played for his dad, Chris, in high school in Germany. He was born in the U.S., but spent most of his life in Germany. His dad went from Cincinnati's Oak Hills High School to be a 4-year star at Valpo. He left there as their all-time leading rebounder, and then had a long career, 13 seasons in the Pro League in Germany.
And that's one of the best leagues in the world.
Kessie denies the screen. Gets bumped on, helped by a big. Great pass to Yak, and one. What a dime by Kessie.
Great job of Kessie keeping that dribble alive and being patient, keeping his head up and being able to get that pocket pass.
And we'll step aside. The Beavers trying to find some offense. The Broncos could taste a possible bubble trip to the big dance.
Introducing Mike's Hot Italian Sub from Jersey Mike's. The only sub that's served as hot as its hot takes. Hot take, everyone wants to be hot, subs included. Here's another hot take. Melty cheese pulls, way too hot for TV. Third hot take, chopped pepper relish is a love language. Hot take, a regular for only $8.95 is too hot a deal to pass up. Actually, that last hot take was more of a hot fact. The all-new Mike's Hot Italian Sub for a limited time only at Jersey Mike's.
Our goal for our kids has always been, whatever you do, do it to the best of your ability.
Can't play a perfect game, but what you can control is my energy, my effort, my intensity.
I miss those moments in the car, because it is quality time. We couldn't recreate how things unfolded.
When it's down to one play, you want AZ Fudd to get the ball.
My taxes pay for these roads. What I get back goes to my family. Straight Talk always offers free 5G phones for new and existing customers. Straightforward, always.
No contracts, no credit checks, no surprises. And now plans starting at just $25 a month.
This is Freshpet. Here, there are no fillers, no spray-on flavors, no compromises. Just vet-developed recipes packed with fresh meat and healthy veggies. Because real fresh food belongs in everybody's bowl.
Back at Santa Clara, firmer command for the Broncos thanks in large part to what they've done on the boards.
6 offensive rebounds in the first 8 minutes, and a lot of times it's just been the weak side being able to fly in freely because Oregon State is in that zone. They're putting 2 on the ball, trying to close out the shooters, and as a defender playing in that type of zone, you don't know who to box out, so there's just been a lot of free runners, and Santa Clara's doing a great job taking advantage of it.
Offensive rebounding on the game, 15-6 in favor of the Broncos. Second chance points, 24-6 Santa Clara. It's been a driving force. This is a Broncos team that scores a lot of points. They're second only to Gonzaga in the West Coast Conference in points per game. And they're on pace to be the second best scoring team in program history, behind only the 69-70 squad. And one free throw for Yak is good. And when you go back to the late 60s, early 70s, another golden era for Santa Clara. Dennis Autry, the deciding star of that time, 2-time conference player of the year. One of the many jerseys hung in the rafters here. On the wraparound, Napper, tough angle. I mean, he was tied to the baseline.
Yeah, shot that thing from almost behind the backboard, and coming into this one, Napper 75% from 3 over his last 3 games. He's kind of been the unsung hero for this Broncos team.
Mahi ready to sub. It even feels like the substitution patterns for Santa Clara have found rhythm.
Yeah.
Well, Oregon State is just trying to find some kind of offense. It's been a special season for Santa Clara. 23 wins. They've tied the most in their decade under Herb Sendek. It's the outright highest total of conference wins ever in program history at 83.5 points per.
And one of the most impressive stats that's not on the board is they have 5 players that average 2 or more assists. That just shows you the playmaking skill of this team.
Diaz-Graham's been quiet. McKissy. Tough shot. Follow Diaz-Graham, no, out of bounds. Yeah, Autry was a megastar for Santa Clara. Averaged over 20 and 14 as a senior, but perhaps their best run came in his penultimate year, the year before. They were 27-1 before they fell to UCLA in the Elite Eight.
Very similar to Miami of Ohio this season.
Yeah, oddly enough, that's where Herb Sendek cut his teeth as a head coach. Took them to the big dance, couple of NITs. And on our air yesterday, they were able to survive yet again, remain undefeated. Hammond with purpose. And rolls away to see.
And those are the ones that he makes 9 out of 10 times. When he gets that angle, he's able to shoot over the top of smaller defenders. Just wasn't able to get that one to go.
Both of these teams lost their entire starting lineups from last offseason, out of bounds. That's part of a reality far more commonplace in today's world. And Wayne Tinkle coaching out his run with Oregon State, while Herb Sendek has just built such a culture and program with different names each year. They look similar.
They play with such unselfishness, high IQ, and been a powerhouse offensively. Is missed opportunity there for Santa Clara.
Mahi tried behind the back. C takes it away. Napper trying to take it back, and C somehow maintains. Diaz-Graham wide open. Good pause and finish. And he got poked in that left eye. But you could just feel the confidence the Broncos are playing with now.
And on the other end, Oregon State's a little bit unsure defensively.
Diaz-Graham weak side, funnels forward. Willingford, electric dunk.
Well, that's one of the cons when you send guards to the offensive glass. A lot of times Hammond is crashing the glass. It only leaves one guy back, and it's a 2-on-1 situation for Oregon State. And how about that finish with authority?
And yet it feels moot if the Beavers don't get stops in bunches. That'll be a foul on C, denying Darling.
Oregon State trying to make a little bit of a push here, turning over the Broncos, getting out in transition. Good job of C getting the loose ball and with a shot fake into a finish.
So C's got 3. Napper, Darling, who was shown the handle at times today. Diaz-Graham stays with him, out of bounds.
Great job with Diaz-Graham, sliding his feet, staying in front of Darling, who probably has the advantage with the quickness, and forcing him to that short corner to turn the ball over.
So now the Broncos haven't scored in almost 3 minutes, but this is a Beaver team that just doesn't score a lot. They're the worst scoring offense in the league. Just over 70 a game.
And they only shoot about 42% on the season.
Yak inside. Turnaround rattles in. Well, able to slice that deficit to 11. It's a bit of a weird feel in the air here in the senior day game.
And I feel like the fan base is a little bit confused too. As you understand how much is riding on this one, but not only this one, but the next one too.
Hammond inside. And Oboye hit.
Hammond is doing a much better job of being deliberate and carving out the angle and making his drives more aggressive to the basket to create space and create advantage and make the help side come over. And then he's doing a really good job of finding teammates as well once he gets into the painted area.
Foul to Diaz-Graham is 3rd, so Oboye at the line. He's got 5 points in his 9 minutes. Well, Santa Clara, according to CBS Sports Bracketology, the last team in entering today. Their best win, they split with St. Mary's. They lost to a bad Loyola Chicago team. But they have some other good wins. They beat Nevada, who will be on our air next against UNLV. They beat McNeese State. They won at Xavier.
7-1 in the quad 2 wins.
Darling off iron. DeKissy.
Oh.
In and out, and he's fouled. Hard slam to the floor right on his back. He's clutching at that right shoulder, turning in some before his teammates help him up.
I think that was one of those calls that probably could have went either way. Like, pretty minimal contact. A lot of the contact happened after the ball was released from Ekasi's hands.
Foul to Darling is 3rd. So Kissy at the line, 59% on the year. Converts on the front end. The Beavers have left 8 potential points at the line on misses tonight. And in general, free throws are a giant part of what they do. They lead the West Coast Conference in takes and makes. They're 2nd in free throw percentage in the league, top 30 in the country. Josiah Lake, the 2nd, returns. A Kissy subs out. Looks like Ensminger back to trigger. Graves out there as well, who's been somewhat quiet at times. Out of the corner, Mahi.
Great job of Santa Clara just attacking quickly. It's a matchup zone. Oregon State's running and getting an overload on the right side of the floor. There's only 3 guys for Oregon State, so somebody's going to be open. On that possession, it was Mahi.
Williford comes to the ball. C. Reverse, in and out. Napper on the run. Lost the handle on the way up, off of the Beavers. Well, the Bronco wave has been coming since the break. Elijah Mahi and Santa Clara on senior day, getting it done at home. The lead balloons. It's March to March, presented by Principal.
When disaster strikes, it's not just buildings that break. It's lives, memories, a sense of home. But in those moments, something powerful rises, the chance to make things whole again. Because we don't just fix property. We help restore belongings and the spaces where memories live. Belfour, restoring more than property.
At Ameriprise Financial, we know our clients are so much more than clients. They're go-getters and game changers, legacy leavers and visionaries, healers and confidants. The goals that matter most to you matter most to us. Helping you achieve them is what we do best. With personal financial advice from an advisor you can trust and goal-based investing in solutions, it's no wonder we have a 4.9 out of 5 client satisfaction rating. Ameriprise Financial, advice worth talking about.
I've got this old bike and I got the receipt right here. I'd like for you to beat it with a better deal on the souped-up model.
We can't do that. Verizon does. Bring in your AT&T or T-Mobile bill for a better deal.
You're not as cool as Verizon.
This is Freshpet. Here, there are no fillers, no spray-on flavors, no compromises. Just vet-developed recipes packed with fresh meat and healthy veggies. Because real fresh food belongs in everybody's bowl.
72-59, Santa Clara the lead, trying to get back to the big dance for the first time in 30 years. They've been 11 times in their history. 1996, they won a game. They took down the Terps of Maryland, led by Steve Nash, the 2-time WCC Player of the Year. Back in 1996, what was going on? Well, One Sweet Day was the #1 song. The Birdcage with Robin Williams and Nathan Lane was tops of the box office. And Herb Sendek was wrapping up his final year in his first head coaching stint with Miami, Ohio.
Wow. I mean, I don't even think I know the song, sadly, One Sweet Day. I probably know if I heard it, but that puts it into context. It's been a long time.
And Steve Nash went off for 28-12 in their tournament win. They had become tournament darlings in that run. Mahi on high, in and out. And a foul on the floor as Yak was trying to box against Graves. And Yak has his third. Hung in the rafters, Steve Nash, who led his Broncos to a win over Gary Williams' Maryland team. He played with a bad hamstring that game, and it did surface while he diminished the reports of it. His high school coach in New Brunswick, Canada, sent a recruiting letter to Maryland. Terps never called back.
Probably still regretting it to this day. I mean, it's hard to tell. Obviously, with recruiting, Graves makes the first one. You never know, right? I mean, even talk about the other guy who's sitting next to him, and Jalen Williams was under-recruited as well. It's, you know, some guys develop later than others, and you just really never know. I mean, that's why talent evaluation and scouting is just so important in following up.
And Alan Graves, a great example of that. A highly decorated player in Louisiana, won every major state basketball award, and wound up at Santa Clara. Late kick to C for 3, no. And by the way, Nash also added, they sent letters to pretty much every team in stateside Division I basketball. So Terps were the only team that never called. Cochran, kick to Ensminger. Extra pass to Cochran. Now it's Mahi for three. Rainbow miss.
I thought Mahi could have shot faked and probably got to the rim and dunked it.
And Lake gets hit in transition. This is Steve Nash dealing dimes and getting points back in 1996.
The revenge game.
I mean, the no looks all night. This is on a bad hammy. He was limited in practice. That Maryland team was known for its defense. It was one of the top steals teams in the country, and he carved them up.
I wonder if he left a copy of that email or that letter that was sent after the game in front of the locker room.
Lake at the line. Yeah, Gary Williams was asked about what stood out about Nash after that game, and his biggest takeaway was how quick Nash was.
Yeah.
He was surprised by his speed. By the way, jumping jacks are being done behind the basket right now. Those are members of the Santa Clara baseball team who had a game today. It was unknown if they'd make it, if they might have to arrive in uniform, but they do jumping jacks in front of the opposing team shooting free throws.
I love that, the fact that they showed out after their game. That's just loyalty and commitment to your school.
Graves had more rhythm this second half. Napper off the fake. The pause, pops and misses. Loose ball to Ensminger. Opposite Hammond into the corner. Graves all day, wide open, got it.
It's just the second chance points, and Ensminger has been the unsung hero as we get a deflection there, full court. But just doing a really good job of attacking the glass. You get the three-point look here. The guy that's shooting 40% from three.
See, has to playground it. Pressured by Mahi, 2 off the timer. You can just feel the difference. There was, you pointed it out, and I think accurately so. There seemed to be a tightness and an uncertainty about Santa Clara early, and that has swept into an avalanche of confidence since the break.
Yeah, and it was the first few minutes of the second half where you see a couple shots go in, you force turnovers, and then it just gives you a little bit of freedom and comfort to play your brand of basketball.
The Beavers haven't had a bucket in almost 3 minutes. The Broncos are on the run. Cochran corner. No. Graves wins it, wills it. Tip ball taken away by Lake. Lake trying to fight with Graves up the floor. McKissy for three. Ensminger taps it. C off the fake. He got Graves in the air. That'll be another foul on the Santa Clara big, his 4th.
And you see so many young bigs, talented or still developing, struggling to not foul. In that position right there, Graves, if he just stays vertical, to take another look, I mean, C is dead. Like, if he just keeps his hands up, there's nothing that C could do to finish over the top of him, and just kind of falls for that shot fake and picks up the 4th foul.
And he is limping slightly after he got up. He went down to the floor a little awkwardly there. Had a 30-point performance at Washington State. Best road scoring game by a freshman Bronco in a dozen years.
He's having an incredible season. 4 of the last 5 freshmen of the weeks in the WCC. He hobbles over to the bench, but he's going to be a tremendous collegiate player here at Santa Clara.
The Broncos will not play again until a week from tomorrow. That's when they'll begin quarterfinal play in the WCC tournament. C subs out. Su'utela back in, but certainly you hope that Graves is all right. There's no lasting effect from that contact. Ensminger. 80 has been a magic number for the Broncos. Great feed. And one. They'll get a chance to get there before the 5-minute mark.
That whole possession, Lake was denying Cochran the whole way, and this is a really good job of reading the defense, seeing the ball go to the post, and then diving immediately from the top of the key. Because even if he doesn't get it, then you might have that weak side skip to the corner.
That's 4 on Lake. So Cochran at the line. When the Broncos get to 80, they're 18-1 this year. In a decade under Herb Sendek, they're 100 wins against 12 losses.
Wow.
When they score 80 points. And the air is gone for the Beavers, who haven't hit a field goal in 4 minutes.
Yeah, you could feel that they've kind of run out of gas, especially on the offensive end. Just haven't been able to get anything going.
McKissick stepping back for 3, short. And Munch cleans it up. We'll get a whistle and a timeout. We'll take one as well. A large lead for the Broncos, who have NCAA tournament hopes. CBS Sports Network's coverage of college hoops continues next. Mountain West rivalry game, Nevada and UNLV. Silver State pride will be on the line. Nevada will try to make it a clean sweep. The 102nd all-time meeting series led by UNLV. And there are pretty extreme differences north-south in the state of Nevada, but it's an intense rivalry. And Nevada, one of the signature wins this year for Santa Clara.
Yeah, I mean, both of those programs have had successful seasons. Obviously, the Running Rebels back in the day for UNLV under Coach Passer now, and they picked up some quality wins in the first year of his tenure.
And Nevada coming off one of its bigger wins of the year. Took down New Mexico last time out. New Mexico beat San Diego State today. Aztecs have lost 3 of 4. It is a tight time of year for teams on the bubble like Herb Sendek's Broncos, who you believe not only needed to win this game today, that they have in pretty good hand with 4.5 minutes to go, but you think they need to win their quarterfinal. Oh boy, another dunk, his third in the second half.
And I say that to feel comfortable, because if you lose that quarterfinal game, you're going to really be sweating, and you almost have to hope other things swing your way with other teams losing in their conference tournament on the bubble.
Several bubble teams have dropped games today. Blake leaning in Ensminger. McKissick. Wrap around to nobody, out of bounds. Well, mentioned it, this is the Santa Clara baseball team doing what they call Bronco Jacks. Baseball season in swing, pitchers and catchers trying to help out the Hoopers.
Whether because of discomfort, lack of mobility, your lifestyle, or occupation, you sit inactively way too many hours a day. Introducing Ellipse, the premium quality automatic seated exerciser that strengthens legs, increases mobility, and boosts circulation without physical strain or impact.
It is so quiet that none of my coworkers even know I'm using it.
Strengthen and tone your legs, increase your mobility, flexibility, and balance, plus stimulate healthy circulation.
My joints feel better, my knees feel better, my back feels better. It makes me feel stronger too.
Perfect for home therapy. Whisper quiet to use while you work.
My circulation is moving, I'm burning calories, and it makes me feel energetic.
Call now and order Ellipse, the seated exerciser that strengthens legs, increases mobility, and boosts circulation. Call and get upgraded to the Deluxe Bundle. Get the faster motor for 5 miles of steps per hour, the step counter, the sport mat, and wireless remote. Call now.
Yes, I actually won!
See this? It just arrived from Deal Dash, a Nintendo Switch 2.
Look what I just won. I love Deal Dash.
With millions of auctions, you too can start winning, like this.
I got this amazing Japanese knife set for just 75 cents.
I got this KitchenAid stand mixer for only $56.
And today, new users get a $50 bonus credit. Go to DealDash.com right now for huge savings
and free shipping from our U.S. warehouses.
Time now for our Old Trapper Beef Jerky Player of the Game, Brenton Napper.
He's just been the steadiness of this Broncos team, and he's done it all year long, just understanding his role. It's kind of a complimentary scorer, primary off the bench, obviously starting here on senior night, but even when Broncos were struggling to get a rhythm, he was the one that made some shots, 3 threes, 2 of those coming in the first half.
19 points here tonight on senior day, his 115th game. A part-time starter during a lot of that time. He's only 3 points off his season high. Mahi. And Oboye play catch, 10 to shoot. And a foul. Munch.
Good job of Mahi continuing to attack that hard hedge of Munch and understanding again, Oregon State's in the bonus, get yourself some free points.
2 on Munch. Mahi is 71% free throw shooter. He's the reigning West Coast Conference Player of the Week. He dropped a career-high 30 at San Francisco. And one of his better games last year came at the expense of Oregon State when he had 21 and 6, then career-high 5 dimes.
Struggled in their last one against St. Mary's, only 3 points.
And pretty much the entire starting lineup.
Yeah, they did, yeah. He's kind of been up and down, Mahi. 3 of his last 5 games have been under 10. They need him to be consistent down the stretch here.
Have you learned anything about the Broncos today, or can they take any lessons from this game into the conference tournament?
Well, I think the biggest thing is, you know that this team is a high-powered offensive team, and even when their main guys are struggling from the field like Hammond did in the first half, they have others that can contribute offensively. I think it's playing without fouling is going to be so important for this team down the stretch.
And C off the up fake draws the foul. That'll go on Napper.
And they foul.
And that can be a major problem, right?
Yeah, and the reason why is not only do you foul and put your bigs in foul trouble, now when a guard attacks a big or there's a post-up, now you're potentially giving up free points because the next possession down or a few possessions down, you're not able to foul. You got to play a little bit less aggressive. And then on the other thing, too, is the fact that a guy that's struggling from the field can see 2 go into the basket. And now it kind of balloons into not only 2 free throws, but then 3 threes to follow it.
Well, now this Bronco team at the offensive end, where they were jagged but successful in the first and far more brutally efficient in the second, championed by their rebounding. Loose briefly, Oboye, and one. Pulling away in a big way.
That's one thing you can say about this Broncos team. And they have won almost all the 50-50 balls, especially in this second half. And it's a scrappy team, veteran. They can score at a high level, but they also compete at a high level. But obviously sometimes it just turns into foul trouble, but can't deny the work ethic of this team on both ends of the floor.
Foul to see his 4th. For those of you tuning in for Nevada UNLV, you can find it streaming free on the CBS Sports app or at cbssports.com/CBSSN. As soon as it tips off, we'll get you out there as soon as this game concludes. And we get another foul on the tie-up. Napper locking horns there with Akissi. There's a chant of We Want Brendan. That is for walk-on Brendan Yaruso, who has not played yet tonight. He does play some on the year. And it's pretty cool. It's the student section right behind us that is begging for the first minutes of the game for a senior walk-on.
And they got it spelled on their chest, Brendan.
He's one of the seniors honored tonight. He has not yet been in this affair. Lake, it looks like, will sub out for Oregon State. Williford is back. Agassi hits rather. So we have a little over 2.5 to go. This was a 5-point game at the break. In the first half, Broncos never led by more than 8, but came on with a fury at the start of the second. And they are now plus 17 since halftime. Extra pass, Cochran, Ensminger. Oh, behind the back, gave it away. Alert hands there by Diaz-Graham. Kezia Agassi. Lob to Yak. Off a dribble. Foul.
That's a tough one.
And he is fouled out.
But that possession there, I don't necessarily agree with that call. That shows you his versatility on the defensive end. It's a hard hedge. You stop the ball handler and then sprint back to the basket and play vertical and alter the shots. That was a tough call.
So Boye fouls out. There's a look at Brendan Yaruso. The students desperately wanted the game. If and when will he enter? Rather comfortable cruising lead here for the Broncos. The moment that the warm-ups come off and he goes to the table,
oh, it's gonna go. They're gonna go nuts.
Yak hits. So Boye fouls out for a 9th time on his season. He entered top 5 in Division I in total foul outs. Napper. Beaver ball. Williford off the fake. Count it.
Job of Williford there, playing off of 2 feet into a firm jump stop to gain control on that layup.
The Bronco bench is chuckling, including several that surround Yaruso deeper down the pine.
Maybe Coach Sendek watched the film of Oregon State's last game. Now I feel like this game is completely over. But
and here he comes. The warm-up's coming off and the crowd loving it. And a foul. Yaruso at the table to sub in.
That's one thing you could count on the Broncos to do is foul so that we could get Brendan into the game. Didn't have to worry about that.
Foul to Napper, his 3rd. So free throws coming, and the senior out of Lombard, Illinois, Yaruso ready to send. Nevada UNLV is underway, now available streaming free. The CBS Sports app or at cbssports.com/CBSSN. We'll get you out there when this one wraps up. Brendan Yaruso's going to play. Walk-on who added 25 pounds in his offseason. His 8th game of his final year on senior night. Rims away. Under a minute to go.
Get him a shot.
Ensminger leaves Yaruso for 3.
so contested, too.
Taken away by Cochran. Misses. McKissy has it. Timer off. Williford for three. No. Well, the biggest roar of the night comes on a three for a walk-on. That tells you something about the second half of the Broncos. Their final game of the regular season, a dominant second stanza. They avoid the landmine. CBS Sports Bracketology has them in as an at-large. They are on to the West Coast Conference Tournament as the 3 seed. They and Oregon State will play in the quarterfinal against different opponents a week from tomorrow. We know those top 4 teams have byes. 3 and 4 have byes to the quarters. 1 and 2 have byes to the semis.
And I feel like step 1 of 2 is complete. Now the big one is that quarterfinal matchup in Las Vegas.
For Trey Dems and our entire crew, my name is John Sadak. This has been a presentation of CBS Sports Network, the 24-hour home of CBS Sports. The final 93-72. Santa Clara dominates the day against Oregon State. After the break, Nevada meets UNLV as we say so long from San